Hey guys, what's up? Max here from Max Plays MTG with another MTG crash course for you guys. The WotC webpage posted an article this morning that perfectly summarized the Theros block plot, so I decided to give it to you in video form. Check the description to read the article yourself, or just watch the video and it'll tell you everything you need to know. Our story will begin on why Elspeth is on Theros. Now, as a child, Elspeth had come to Theros and picked up her sword. And there's a quote from a letter to Ajani from Elspeth. I told you once where I got my sword. It's from a plane called Theros, and that's where I am now. I've had hazy memories from my first visit years ago, an old forest with massive, gnarled olive trees and a dizzying precipice overlooking a rocky expanse. Now, Elspeth is back on Theros in order to discover what the gods are and what they want. Another quote from the letter. When I arrived this time, I ended up in a bleak swamp near an entrance to a cave. It was a stroke of good luck because the cave is a temple, and I was cared for by these snake-loving priests who are cold but efficient. While living in Akros, Elspeth travels to a shrine of Heliod just outside the walls of the city. She prays to Heliod in hopes of understanding Theros' gods better, but Heliod accuses her of stealing the sword. When she withstands his magical assault, he's impressed with her power. He transforms her sword into a spear, which becomes known as Godsend. Heliod then challenges Elspeth to travel to Meletis and become his champion. But what Elspeth doesn't know is that the Hydra Polukranos is also making its way towards Meletis. At this point, Xenagos, the Satyr Planeswalker, wants to become a god, but his powerful rituals are disturbing the boundaries between Nyx and the mortal realm. Heliod blames Perforos for this, and the two begin to resurrect their ancient hatred against each other. Just as Perforos arrives at Meletis, the hatred of Heliod and Perforos reaches a boiling point. Meletis and much of Theros will be destroyed if their argument is not stopped. Kruphix is forced to enact the Silence, which draws the gods back into Nyx and leaves the mortals to temporarily fend for themselves. Elspeth and Daxos together then defeat Polukranos. Elspeth becomes the champion of the sun and earns renown throughout Theros. Elspeth goes to live in Heliod's temple compound in Meletis. Daxos, an oracle of Heliod, becomes her friend and mentor. Elspeth loves Meletis and believes she found a place she can truly call home. During the Silence, Xenagos manipulates Mogus's Minotaurs into attacking Akros. The Minotaurs have always wanted to destroy the polis, so it doesn't take much for the satyr to convince them to attack. Hordes of both mortal and Nyxborn Minotaurs besiege Akros. Soldiers from Setessa and Meletis, including Elspeth and Daxos, come to the polis' aid. The combined forces of Setessa and Meletis are victorious, and as Xenagos had hoped, they hold a great victory celebration. Xenagos transforms this celebration into the Great Revel, a violent bacchanalia. Jealous of Elspeth's blade and hero status, Xenagos wants to destroy her. Using magic, he manipulates her into killing Daxos on the night of the Great Revel. Later, Xenagos completes his ritual and becomes a god. The Pantheon is horrified by this change of events and blames the mortals for disturbing the natural state of the world. The conflict between the Nyxborn and the mortals escalates. Heliod blames Elspeth for Xenagos' ascension, and she is forced to flee into the wilderness to escape his wrath. Instead of leaving the plane, she vows to stay until she avenges Daxos' death and destroys Xenagos. Her friend Ajani finds her in the wilderness and offers to help. With the help of a mysterious merfolk who turned out to be Kiora, Ajani and Elspeth make their way across the sea to Kruphix's temple at the waterfall and the edge of the world. Kruphix is himself a portal into Nyx, and Ajani and Elspeth must make it to the gates of the realm of the gods. To gain access to Nyx, Elspeth must choose an ordeal from one of the gods. She chooses Erebos, and he tempts her with a vision of a peaceful home and loving family. She can have eternal peace if only she gives up the fight against Xenagos and stops trying to save Theros. Realizing that there is more at stake than her personal comfort, Elspeth refuses to lay down her sword and resign herself to Erebos' trick. Once inside Nyx, they discover that Xenagos had trapped the celestial creatures in fiery torment. As Ajani and Elspeth work up to free them, the god of revels launches his assault. Elspeth struggles to kill Xenagos until she pinpoints the last vestige of the satyr's mortality and strikes him down with her god-forged weapon. The god of revels is no more, and the Pantheon is restored to its natural state. The death of Xenagos does not lessen Heliod's animosity towards Elspeth, and he fears her power as a planeswalker. Weak and injured, Elspeth and Ajani try to flee Nyx, but the god of the sun waylays his former champion and strikes Elspeth with her own sword. He orders Ajani to carry her back into the mortal realm, where she can be claimed by Erebos, god of the dead. Ajani is spirited away by King Brimaz's Leonin, leaving a mortally wounded Elspeth to die near the Temple of the Gods. During her hero's journey, Elspeth transcended her everyday fears. Her own comfort and safety were no longer her primary concerns. She sacrificed herself for the love of Daxos, the love of Theros, and the love of the innocents who can't protect themselves. When mortals die in Theros, they go to the underworld. The living can only speculate what the underworld is really like, because the returned reveal nothing. If there are more obstacles waiting for Elspeth, she will face them unhindered by mundane cares and concerns, more powerful than ever before. Thanks for watching this MTG Crash Course all about the Theros Black storyline. Be sure to check out my channel at MaxPlaysMTG for other MTG Crash Courses and more MTG content. See you guys later.